All right, so this is from a book by John Kabat-Zinn, and it's Mindfulness for Beginners.
Awesome.
When I use the term clear seeing, it seems to privilege one particular sense, but seeing in the way I am using it here represents all of our senses, because it is only through our senses that we can be aware of and therefore know anything at all. From the meditative perspective, especially in Buddhism, there is a recognition that there are more than 5 senses. This is also the case from the perspective of neuroscience, as we shall see. Buddhism explicitly includes mind as the 6th sense. And by mind, Buddhists don't mean thinking. They mean awareness, that capacity of mind that knows non-conceptuality. For example, you know where you are right now. You don't have to think about it. Most of the time, at least, you just know where you are, and you know what has come before. In other words, you have a sense of orientation in time. You also have a sense of orientation in space. We don't think about it at all, and there's an awful lot that we take for granted when we actually know in very deep ways. It is that cognizant, non-conceptual knowing faculty, awareness itself, that is being pointed to here when we talk about mind as a 6th sense. In this way, clear seeing also means clear hearing, clear smelling, clear tasting, clear touching, and clear knowing, which would include knowing what's on your mind, and therefore knowing both what you are thinking and what emotions are visiting. I love that phrase, emotions that are visiting. And therefore feeling what you are feeling grounded in the body, whether it be fear or anger or sadness, frustration, irritation, impatience, annoyance, satisfaction, empathy, compassion, happiness, or anything else. In this way, anything and everything can become our teacher of the moment, reminding us of the possibility of being fully present. The gentle caress of air on our skin, the play of light, the look on someone's face, a passing contraction in the body, a fleeting thought in the mind. Anything, everything, if it is met with awareness. So as you sit in a comfortable seat, I begin and end with our bell. And just with a nice tall spine, begin to feel the grounding in your seat, knowing that you are supported by Mother Earth. And just taking a few deep inhales and exhales as you settle into your body. And if you haven't already, you can gently close your eyes, but still keeping this sense of space in the room that you're sitting in. Maybe recognizing the distance you are from the walls. Maybe feeling the energy between yourself and the walls, that space that's there. Just the sense of knowing that you are in a space, you are safe. And allowing the breath to guide the body in its inhaling and exhaling, its ebbing and flowing. Just feeling it filling up and contracting with each exhale. And with each exhale, inviting in some softening of the muscles, as if your skeletal structure is nice and sturdy, and the muscles can just drape around the bones, as if hanging on a clothesline, gently blowing in the wind. So beginning with the top of the head and the eyeballs, the forehead, letting any tension out of your jaw. And dropping the shoulders and down into the arms. And just softening the thighs and the shins and calves. As we breathe in and we breathe out. And perhaps today we can really practice stillness, noticing when the body wants to twitch or move, and seeing if you can stay with it just one extra moment before responding. So if you notice a sensation, watching where it begins, how it moves and changes and shifts with the kind attention. If you notice an itch arise, see if you can be conscious of when it actually started, and breathing into it, watching it shift and change as well. And it might even disappear without you doing anything. If you decide to move, move with a conscious awareness once again. Watching how your hand lifts from the lap as it moves through the air to address the itch. As we breathe in and we breathe out, continuing to soften and settle. Let's practice today holding our attention right at our third eye, that space right between our eyes in the middle of our forehead. As if we're looking from the inside, right at the inside of our forehead. So it becomes our anchor today, a place of just bringing back our attention. And with this focused attention on our foreheads, maybe we can invite the brain to take a little nap. And as in our reading, the brain is not the mind. That is not the place of necessarily the awareness. It takes in the awareness, but we don't necessarily need it in this present moment practice. We don't need to necessarily process what comes in. We simply just want to be aware of it, watching it, being with it. There's no need to process from our conditioned place. So if you notice a sound and it tends to pull you away, again, just listening to the sound without identifying it, calling it bird or breath or anything, just simply hearing it from start to finish. And then coming back to your focused attention on the third eye, or the inhale and the exhale. Notice if you were thinking. What kind of thoughts pulled you away? And simply notice them. Again, from start to finish, without judgment or adding a story. And simply be present to whatever arises in each moment. Becoming a witness to sounds, sensations, smells, and even internal visuals that may appear, thoughts. With a simple, gentle awareness. Nothing to change or fix. As we breathe in and we breathe out. Remembering that each exhale is an opportunity to soften and settle and find stillness. Our focus is on the breath and the third eye. Our grounding is in the body. As we breathe in and we breathe out. Noticing what is visiting the body. Maybe an emotion is visiting. You can watch where it sits in the body. Gently observing how it begins, how it moves, and how it changes as we breathe in and we breathe out. If you find your thoughts pulling you away into a story, just coming back to the focused attention on your third eye, just on the forehead, in between your eyes, and grounding in the body, feeling the weight and the stillness in the seat as we breathe in and we breathe out. And wherever you are, just begin to tune back into your breath, noticing the inhale and the exhale, filling and contracting the body. Noticing if there's some held tension that you can breathe into with some kind attention, compassion. In these last few moments, perhaps finding 5 things to be grateful for today, whether it be your comfortable space you're in, the food you ate this morning or will eat, the clothing you're wearing. And soaking in that gratitude with a big inhale and exhale. So I have stopped the recording if there's any comments or questions, but thank you. That was really nice. I needed that myself this morning.
That was awesome, Kim. Thank you.
You're welcome. So Kathleen, I think I know you.
You do.
Yeah.
Yep. I am from Sacred Center and
Oh,
for
yes.
yoga.
I just has your first name. I wasn't sure. And newly relevant artist. I love that, but I'm not sure. It's okay. I want to say good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. So I'm going to continue Tuesdays and Thursday mornings at 8 and Friday evenings at 8 and then Sundays at 10 a.m. So it's always the same link. So I'll be here until, I don't know. It's working for me. So, hey, it's all about me. I'm going to keep doing it.
That was beautiful, Kim. Thank you.
It was.
Yeah, I've really been playing with this idea of the top and the bottom and really creating this balance through this, whether the breath is focused up and down or whether we have one attention here, one attention down low, but just this ebb and flow of the up and the down, because I really feel like it gives us some grounding and balance. It may or may not work for you, but I found that to be very helpful. There's a lot of ways to play with that. I'm a very visual person, so I love imagination and playing with the visuals. So I'm really able to sort of imagine that up and down flow and that visual of the breath, moving in that way. But finding a practice that really works for you is key. This is simply an offering, so I don't want you to feel that this is the only way. It's a way. Some people like to om. Some people like to create that vibration. Some people like to hold something in their hand and use that as their focused attention. Playing with the visual can be that you stare at an object in front of you and really examine it as it is, right? So looking at how the light is hitting it, looking at the shapes and the colors and the texture in this place of focused attention without our attachments to our conditioning around that. So the object is a flower. We maybe want to call it pretty or beautiful, or I like it or I don't like it, but can we simply witness it as it is? And that will apply to our entire lives, by the way. So we practice it here and we get off our cushion and we take that out in the world. Seeing things as they are in each moment allows us the freedom to let go of our conditioning and arrive where we are, where someone else is, right? Because things are constantly changing. So the fixed desire for it to be the same, right, or that fixed way that we want it to be is false, and it's not reality, and it causes us a lot of suffering when we have that attachment to this fixed way of believing, seeing, hearing, thinking, feeling. But when we know that these things are impermanent, we can simply watch them, and it gives us this freedom to be and not create the suffering that comes with our attachments to it. So I hope that's helpful in some way.
Yeah, I loved how when you talked about sound, because it was funny, a car was going by right then. And it's so freeing to not think car and then start imagining the people in it and going through that whole process, which we do all day long.
Yeah.
Eckhart Tolle talks about that a lot too. I remember him, I saw some recording of him and Boris, in her beautiful, trees, and him talking to her about not knees and she knowing knees and just going through that whole process in her mind.
But for some reason, Lisa, you're a little glitchy right now. I don't know what's happening, but anyway.
Yeah, I think you're still reading. The recording button, it's still blinking red up in the corner of mine.
Oh, that is true. Let me see here.